Hi guys, welcome back to my little corner on booktube. So today I'm gonna be doing what's this thing called, the reader's problem tag. I think it's called the reader's problem tag, I think. So I'm gonna be doing the reader's problem tag and we're just gonna hop right into it. So the first question is, you have 20,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide what to read next? So I think I'd probably just do like TBR games or things like that, or just like add how many books are on my TBR and then do like what's the thing called, a randomizer thing. I'll get the randomizer to choose, because obviously if you want to read all of the books, it's not going to be super easy to choose. Or I'll just choose the ones that I like that are in a series first and then go from there. The ones that are in a series I'll try to prioritize first before the ones that are like standalones or anything like that, because this thing of being in the middle of multiple series is completely ridiculous and it needs to stop. It needs to end. Okay, you can't tell me that I've been in the middle of the same series for over 5 years. That's completely ridiculous. So I think I want to prioritize series first and then move on to like standalones. But that doesn't mean that the standalone won't be sneaked in there. Okay, second question. You're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? Listen here guys, I have a hard time quitting books. I have a very hard time quitting books, because I'm like, okay, so what if I'm half through and I'm not loving it? What happens if the last half is absolutely amazing? You see? So I have a hard time DNFing books for that very reason, because there's just too many books where maybe not the first half, but the first quarter or so was like, it was okay, it was fine. But then as I kept reading, I was like, no, this is amazing, this is awesome. And that's how some of my favorite books have started. They weren't the greatest beginning, but as you keep going, you start to fall in love with everything. So I would probably continue. Third question. The end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? Do I try to catch up? I mean, that's technically where I am right now, okay? Because my goal is to read 15 books this year, and I think I've only read 6. I'm 3 books behind apparently, and we're in like the end of July now. It's about to be August. And do I try to catch up? That's a good question. I don't know. I think I'll try to catch up in December. But like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. How will I try to catch up? I'm probably going to do a reading challenge. Most likely. I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm reading for 12 hours. Let's go. Or I'm reading for 20 hours. Let's go. Probably not 20 hours. That's completely crazy. But reading for 12 hours, I'll try to do something like that for each day, so that I at least, try to catch up. But that's also something I'm also trying to no longer do. This whole concept of like having to do reading challenges and then catch up, it feels as though this thing that is supposed to be a hobby is now becoming a chore. Something that's supposed to be fun starts to feel like an obligation. So that's why I'm also even trying to cut out this whole concept of like reading goals, because it makes it something that's supposed to be fun no longer fun, But yeah, anyways, question 4. The cover of a series you love does not match. How do you cope? Buying another one is how I cope. Buying another one, okay? Like, I have some series where, they have multiple different covers, and I have to find the cover in the next book, the cover of the next book that fits with all the others. Otherwise, I will be, it's just gonna be a mess, okay? I hate that. I hate that so much. I will probably keep it for the time being, but if I ever find the cover that matches the series for that book, I am obviously buying it and I'm giving the other one away, because I refuse. No, I refuse to keep something like that. No. Let's go back to question 5, was it? Everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond over shared feelings? I'm probably just gonna go to someone in the book community online, most likely a smaller YouTuber, or I'll say it on a larger YouTuber's platform, and then hopefully someone in the comments agrees with me and we can talk about it. But I also love seeing the opposite opinions as well, like, why did you love this book? and then going from there. So I love having discussions over stuff like this, but it will probably be someone online, because I don't really have a lot of people in my actual life who read books, fictional books start off, okay? Because I do have people read non-fiction books, and I also read non-fiction books, but it's not the same. And then I have people who love reading fiction, but the problem is, because of like school and all that kind of stuff, they can't really be reading as much, and school really be out here taking a lot of their time. So because of that, it has to be people on the internet. And then question 6, by the way, I'm a little bit sick, so if you see me doing that, but that's why. Anyways, question 6, you're reading a book and you're about to start crying in public. How do you feel? Horrible. Like a complete nightmare is what that sounds like. That sounds like a complete nightmare. I don't like this concept of crying in public. It sounds horrible. Who invented it? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't like crying in public. Because there's too many people who like to weaponize your vulnerability. Even if it's crying over a book, there's just too many people. There's too many people in this world who love to do that, and I absolutely hate that. So because of that reason, my eyes will not cry. I will make sure, like, even if I will make sure that my tears are shoved straight back into my eye sockets so that they don't even think of escaping. I know that sounds very violent, but I just don't like crying in public, okay? But if they're already coming out, we'll just cover our face with a book, or make sure that we disappear. Just make sure that we disappear. But I'm trying to do better in that category, because I'm like, so what if you're crying over a book? So what? Who cares? Who really cares? Okay, so what? People are gonna be staring at you, and then they're gonna forget about you, hopefully, hopefully soon. Question 7, a sequel of a book you loved just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find a synopsis on Goodreads, or cry in frustration? Cry in frustration is definitely not the answer, guys. Okay? It's not the answer. The answer is either just jump straight into the sequel, or reread the book before. Okay? Just reread the first book, and then jump into the second book, and you're good. However, if you know that the sequel has a rundown of book 1, you don't even need to read book 1. Just jump straight in, because it's probably going to tell you all the important points, and then you just move. So personally, what I would do is most likely reread the first book. And literally that's kind of like, but it's worse also, because this should be also expanded into like, what about if book 5 just came out in a series, okay, and you haven't read the first 4 books in years. What are you gonna do? I'm probably gonna reread the whole series, okay? I'm reading book 1 all the way to book 4 to prepare myself for book 5, because that's kind of like where I was with the motor instruments. Like, I read the first 4 books. There's 6 books in the motor instruments. I know there's a whole bunch of other books in this world, but like the last time I read book 4 was probably 2021, 2020, 2019. It's been a minute, okay? It's been a minute since I've last read the motor instruments. So I'm like, listen, I'm rereading all 4 books, guys, so that I can prepare myself for book 5. Because if I just choose, let's say this book 5, and then I choose just to read book 4, I'm gonna be like, oh, now they're talking about stuff that I don't remember that happened in book 3. And then if I read book 3, I'm gonna be like, oh, but they're talking about stuff I don't remember from book 2. And it just save yourself the trouble. Just read from book 1 to whatever book you need to read from. But if you can get synopsis online that just summarize all the important stuff, go off, queen. Go off. Or king. Or king, but go off. Okay. And then question 8. You do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people no when they ask? So I don't. I don't, because I have people pleasing tendencies, so I don't. I know I need to do better though. I know I need to do better in that category, because I have been burned multiple times when I lend books out to people, and I should have learned my lesson by now. I really should have learned my lesson by now, but I haven't. I haven't learned my lesson, and it's not good. It's not good. And but I do want to do better in this category, okay? Because I think now from now onwards, if someone I don't really know like that wants to borrow my book, I think I'm just gonna tell them a horror story of mine, and then I hope that they understand that I don't want to lend books out to anybody because of my experiences with doing that. Because I'll tell you guys two stories specifically that have scarred me, and I should have learned my lesson, but I didn't. Let me tell you guys. So the first story happened in primary school. So I was probably in grade 6, I think I was in grade 5, grade 6. And I basically I lent out a book of mine that was the second book in like a six book series. I think, yeah, there's 6 books, and then there's like a novella collection. I have everything except the second book, which was called Marshmallow Sky, by the way, by Kathy Cassidy. If any of you guys have read it, let me know. What did you guys think? Anyways, but I remember when I was younger, Marshmallow Sky, out of all the 5 books that were out at that time, Marshmallow Sky was my favorite. And that's the one that I lent to somebody. Okay, that's the one I lent to somebody. And I should have thought this through. But it was also close to the holidays, so I lent my book to her, expecting to get it back. Obviously, holidays come, home goal. Now she goes on holiday with my book across provincial lines. For the Americans, across state lines. She goes across provincial / state lines with my book. Y'all know where this is going. Cool. Because she's busy on holiday, she doesn't even read the book. And guess what happens? She obviously leaves my book there. She leaves my book in someone's house that I don't know. Anyways, so she comes back. School holiday is over. And I'm like, girl, where's my book? Where's my book? I'm waiting for my book. Girl's like, I have a story to tell you. So I left your book back in that other province with my aunt or whoever it was she left it with. And yeah, I'm gonna get it back though the next time that I go there. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm not happy, that she left my book in our other province, but it's fine. I'm like expecting to get it back. Next holiday comes, ma'am disappears. Obviously now everyone's on holiday, so she goes again, okay? And she doesn't get my book because she actually didn't go to that house that time, and because of other things that were going on, so she couldn't get it. Now I understand, she was in primary school, so obviously there's certain things that she wants to do she can't do because she's a child. But obviously I was very upset. Now, should I have learned from that? Yes. Did I? No. Because it's another story. But I'll tell you that other story when I'm done coming back from food. Because okay, so that's second story that I was telling you guys. So the second story is basically that I again lent a book out to a friend, right? This was now in grade 7. Yeah, grade 6 or grade 7. Most likely grade 7 though. And I lent a first book in a series. Okay, it was called Scarlet and Ivy. I don't remember who it's written by. I'll pop it up on the screen. But this was the book. Okay, this was the book that I lent out to my friend. I have book 2, book 3, book 4. Okay, I have the 2, 3, and 4 in my room. I do not have book 5 because I still need to buy it, and I don't have book 6 because I also still need to buy it. But book 1 is missing. And book 1 is missing because I lent it out to her, expecting for her to give it back to me when she's done. She read the book, and then obviously when she was done, I'm like, okay, so where's my book? And she's like, no, I don't have it. I'm like, okay, where's my book? I sold it. That's what she told me. She's like, I sold it. I'm sorry. Wait, pause. You did what? Yeah, I sold the book. Okay, and when's my book coming back? Look, dude, I already sold the book, so I'm like, okay, and when are you gonna get me a new one? She's like, I don't have the money for that. Okay, so why did you think that you could just sell my book? Like, I was again, no shade to these people for doing what they did. They were just young and dumb. Young and dumb, okay? If you take offense to that, come on, you can't be offended on behalf of like 13-year-old you, 12-year-old you, okay? Like that was very disrespectful. She sold my book. She just decided that it was fine to sell someone else's book. and obviously I never got it back. So the moral of the story is I should be learning my lesson, and I haven't really lent out books ever since those times. So I guess to a certain degree I have learned my lesson, because I think I can count on one hand the people that I've lent my book out to, and I know where these people live, so I can go and grab my books, you know. And I did. I have all my books back, because for a while three of my books, my Geek Girl books, were with my best friend. But you know, I went to her house one day and I was like, babes, are you done? She's like, dude, I didn't even get time to read it because of school. And I'm like, girl, it's cool, but can I please get my books back? And I took my books, because obviously I'm in the middle of reading them now. I need to obviously go on to book 5, and then book 6, and then I'm done. And then there's like 2 novellas that I could maybe try and buy, because it's my so I don't know what I was saying, because my camera decided to tell me that my card is full. But basically, yeah, the Geek Girl series is like a childhood series. I think that's where I was going with that. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyways, question 9. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? I've never been in a reading slump, I think. Because again, I have multiple hobbies. Like I don't think I've been in a reading slump because I have too many hobbies. So when I want to read, you know, I slot time in. I read most of the time, like the last week of every month or so. That's like the primary time that I get most of my reading done. So I think if reading was like my main source of like entertainment and just consuming stories, then I think the concept of a reading slump would be more familiar to me. So this concept of a reading slump, I don't think it's really something I'm familiar with. But if I was in a reading slump, I would most likely just watch YouTube videos to help me out of it. That would be what I'd do, because I don't know anything about reading slumps. Like whenever people talk about reading slumps, this just goes completely over my head because I haven't experienced it. But if anyone is experiencing reading slump, literally look up videos on reading slumps, like how to get over reading slump. There will be tons and tons of videos that pop up that will be able to help you. And then question 10. There are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? 0. I will probably actually buy 0. I don't really read a lot of new releases like that. Yeah, I don't really read a lot of new releases. However, if I were to, I would probably only buy 1, because I'd have to save up to buy the one, because books are expensive. Especially when they've just newly released, they are pretty expensive. So because of that, I'll probably save up and only buy 1. However, if magically it is on sale, maybe I'll buy 2. I guess I'll just pick between which are the ones that I want to read the most, and then just buy that one. So that's how I would get them. That's how many I'd buy. I mean, I would probably only buy 0 or 1. Yeah. And then book 11. Question 11 is, after you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelves before you get to them? A long time. A long time. Because there's a bunch of books that are on my shelves, and I'm not trying to be like these people that have over 300 books on their physical TBR. It will take me a while to actually get to reading it. So it will probably take me 6 months to over a year before I eventually get to the book, because I'm trying to read the books that I already have on my shelf, and I don't want to obviously accumulate more books unnecessarily. So I want to read the books that are on my shelf. I mean, there was a time where I had 0 books on my TBR, physical TBR, 0. Now on my online TBR, oh, there's a lot, but on my physical TBR, there really was a time where I had 0. But as I've gotten back into reading more, I think I have about like 7 to 10 or 12 books that are on my physical TBR at the moment. They might be less than 12. I think it's less than 12, but I do know that it's around 7 to 10 books on my physical TBR currently. So I will probably not get to that newer book until I read the other books that are currently on my shelves. Though those two classics, I don't know when I'm gonna get to them. I don't know, but but all the other ones I will try to get to them first before getting to the book that was recently bought. But then that might change, because if it's a new book but it's part of a series and I have already read the first or second or third book in the series, I will try to quickly get that in. So I think it just depends. So if it's a book that is part of a series, I will try to read it as soon as it has been bought. But if it's not in a series and it's a standalone, I will most likely only get to it 6 months to a year later. So I think that's all the questions. Yeah, that's all the questions. Thank you, Celestia, for tagging me. If any of you guys want to do this tag, you're it. You go off. I will link the questions in my bio, just like Celestia did. And anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you in another video. Bye guys.